Hello, my name is Johan Falk. I work at Node 1 Scandinavia. We are at exercise number 9 in the documentation site suite in the Drupal 7 The Essentials book. And this exercise is first time we use contextual filters in views. And it goes like this. As site member, I would like to have a list of all the content I've written available as a tab on my user page. I would like similar tabs on other users' pages. This is important since it helps me keep track of my own contributions as well as following what other members write. Alright, and if we look at the how to demo thing, we get some more information. If we create a documentation page, we should be able to go up to our account page and find a tab called Posts, and the documentation page should be listed there. If we create a new piece of content, the documentation collection, so it should contain both documentation pages and documentation collections, it should appear in the list too, and it should be above the documentation page because it was created after it. So newest on top. Right. This is the site I'm using to build these features, and in order to create this I'm gonna have a new view like this, and I'm gonna call this user content per user, content by users, perhaps better. Description, this view displaying all content written by a given user at the user's account page, profile page perhaps we should call it. Alright, I want to show content, yes, of type all, tagged with doesn't matter, newest first, good. Create a page, good. Page title, content by user, that's going to change. The path here is going to change as well. I'm gonna right away put it to user /% posts. And why don't we actually use teasers? That's a good list, I guess. Use a pager, create a menu link, no. This option only allows us to create normal menu links, and I would like to have a tab here. We could include an RSS feed. I'm actually going to do that. It's not included in the user story at all, but why don't I? Because it's so easy to do, and the client will probably be happy. So user /%/posts/ RSS.xml. Continue and edit. Okay. Now this % thing here is the very tricky thing in this exercise. Let's see. That % is tied to contextual filters, and I'm going to use whatever is in that % place to filter by user ID. Why doesn't this show user roles? What the? Okay, maybe it's called content author instead. They changed the user interface here to make it more intuitive. Now this is really weird. Right, maybe if I do this the long way then. I'm going to add a relationship to the author. This should be included by default. In views. I know Earl Miles more or less considers it a bug, but he can't change it now because it's yeah, wow. This was really surprising. User UID. I didn't think you needed to add this relationship explicitly. Maybe Earl Miles finally managed to get this into views, change the default views. Use the relationship author. Okay. So from the node we collect the author, and the author should have the UID specified in the path and this %sign. This exercise turned out to be a bit more tricky than I expected. Sorry for that. If we don't have any value in the URL, then give me a page not found, because then something is strange here. Override the title. This is pretty useful. Posts content written by %1. This will give us the first argument for the view and any title or username or so associated with that object, or the object relating to that ID that we get. I'm gonna specify validation criteria here, saying that we should have a user ID coming in. If it's not, if someone types Apple, we should get we shouldn't return anything. We should do a page not found. More user, well, content author, we're gonna call this. Actually, content author ID. Let's change that. So, okay, and we have sort criteria, we have filter criteria for published, that's good. We have teasers, and final thing we want to have is the menu option here that we take into a menu tab. I'm gonna call it, let's see what the posts it should be. Okay, posts, view posts written by this user, and for some reason it wants me to put the menu tab in a menu. That doesn't really make sense. I'm gonna put a weight, say 3 on this and apply. That means it will appear slightly to the right. I don't risk having it before the view and edit tabs for user accounts, and that's good. I think they have like weight 0 and 1, these two. Okay, and I would say that's it. In the next screencast you'll see what this really looks like. See you there.